So the following is just a quick overview of the Interlead service. So the concept is we're collecting facility and well license permits from BC's oil and gas regulator, Alberta's, and Saskatchewan's, consolidating it and loading this information into your instance of Salesforce Weekly so you can use it as a market research tool. So some basic some of the services that we provide associated with it. One is we review the data weekly, and we summarize some of the interesting information associated with that, and then we post it inside of your instance of Salesforce under Chatter. And then, so here's an example of last week. We talk a little bit about Fire and Sky's new battery, 9 new well permits and for ARC up in BC, so on and so forth. And then we look at some of the basic news that's out there today, and we provide that information. I'll make sure that we're putting it underneath this group here that we created, Interlead, and then your users can subscribe to that group and get that post weekly. The other area that we use the service is when we look at the accounts records. We're able to create what they call roll-up fields to allow you to build different types of list views of accounts. So I happen to go into a list view called producer accounts. And in that, producer prospects, let me go producer accounts. Let me find it here. Customers, all, current customers, producers, all. There we go. And so you're able to use, what we do is we roll up information like how many facility permits do they have, how many well license permits do they have, so on and so forth. And then you can associate that to your dollar revenue on that side of it. So here I've just kind of summarized it by your dollar closed. So we can come in here and we can look at any one of these accounts that we want to. So there's lots of different variations of list views, but a good way for you to take a look at this. We could also say, hey, I want to look at the guys that have done the most facility permits. So list views allow us to do ascending, descending type of lists. And then we look for white areas, white spots. So here we've got our total close versus our total opportunities. Where is it that we want to be able to do some consolidation on that side of it? In your case, I'll come over here and I'll say, okay, let's take a look at which account was I looking at here. So let's go total closed, and we'll look at your customer as an example. Here, going back here. So we'll look at 7Gens. So associated, one of the keys of the services that we do is we added a unique ID to the account record, and that allows us to relate the facility and the well license information. So I can come in here and specifically do market research associated to the facilities in there. This view, a lot to see, but Salesforce gives me this filter capability. And then I could come in here and I could say, hey, I'm interested in the facilities, since the beginning of the year. So we'll just come back to January 1st and then come down here and hit apply. And then there's the facility since January 1st. And then I can come in here. Here's one with Aztec Engineering. And then I can drill down on it a little bit deeper. Take a look at what the, how much gas, how much condensate, oil in this particular facility, so on and so forth. So gives me a pretty good indication of what's going on here with this particular customer. The other thing that we can do when I look at this, if I came back and I say, okay, hey, let's take that out, and then I'll apply it. There we go, apply. Let me just see here. Why is that not working? So let's just come back here, refresh. And let's just see here. Take this out of there. Backspace. I want to apply that. I don't know why the filter's not working here for some reason. Let me see. License start date. Apply. There we go. This took a little bit. We've got the bucket field. And then I could say what I'm interested in is the gas processing. So we can come over here and go category type, category facility bucket, gas processing. And then I could come in here and I know that's gas processing plants. And then here are my gas processing plants. the companies that have worked on that. Then I can drill down into each one of them, look at it location wise. We geocode everything for you. So each one of the records has a geocode. I could then come over here and just drop that into a map, take a closer look at this particular instance. So this is available for every single account that we have out there, and then you can go through and I can provide you more information on how to use those filters. And then the last component is more of a macro type of view versus a micro. And when we come into reports, I can say I want to look at all folders. One of the folders that I'm interested in here is the Canadian facilities information, breaking it down by each particular region. So I could come over here and I want to look at facilities in Grande Prairie, and then we can drill down into those particular facilities that are there. So I can take a look at what on the filter. So this was last week. I can come over here and then I could change this to what does it look like the last 120 days. There we go. Whoops. Let me come back here. Days last 120. Apply. And there is all the facilities in Grande Prairie the last 120 days. We can do the same thing with regards to, and then if there's something here that I'm interested in, let's take a look a little closer at this particular company. And then I can easily come over here and break it down from a micro perspective. So let's take a look at what they've done from a facility perspective, put on my filter, and then come down here and say start date. We kind of went back 120 days. So let's go back to February 1st, apply, and voila, we'll have the facilities for the last 120 days sitting there. Let's see if I can hit my apply button, and then there we go. We got a facilities last 120 days, and then I can drill down in each one of the facilities, take a closer look at it, how much gas, how much oil, who's dealing with it, so on and so forth. And I can do the same thing with the oil and gas, with the drilling stuff. I can come over here and I can take a closer look at, and then say, okay, I want to see what their, again, activity date or license date. So here I could say, well, let's take a look at, since kind of the implosion, beginning of March, how many well permits have they had? None. And we can just go ahead and see that, hey, chance of them drilling in this time is slim. So really, it's a market research platform. We've got the chatter, and the last thing is when we find a new account, we load it in the instance of Salesforce for you. So the service itself is collect the data, load it into your instance of Salesforce, so you can use it as a market research platform.